This is Brian Putt. In an earlier video, I talked about saving the base case using something called the Save PMTable, a feature in SIPmath Modeler Tools Enterprise version 4.0. Today I want to talk about using this Save PMTable to do a sensitivity analysis. And we're going to do a sensitivity analysis using the same model that we used previously. It's a very simple model with an acquisition value, with a mean and standard deviation, and a probability of acquiring that results in the distribution for acquiring. And the model is also set up because I saved a base case, reference case, to calculate the difference. And so you can see the distribution of the difference between the active case and the reference case. Also, relative to the past model, I did change the name down here to PMTable reference by using a archive function on the SIPmath Save PMTable. Let's get started. Let's generate the sensitivity that we want to do. And we'll call this sensitivity. We want a sensitivity for the mean and standard deviation. Let's start with the mean. So I'm going to put the MPV mean over here. And what values do we want? Well, let's see. Right now we've got value of 6. So I'll tell you what. Let's put in a value of 3, 5, 6, 8, and 10. All right? So that would be fine. That would give us 5 different sensitivities, and we could plot that. We could plot the expected values of those means. But we also wanted to do the standard deviation. So I'm going to put those sensitivities over here. And we had as a value, base value over here, 9. So over here in our sensitivity, we'll do a 4, 6, 8, 10. We don't need to keep the same things. And we'll do 5 just because 12. And now over here, I want to put my reference case. Or actually, not my reference case, but my current active case, which I think is 6 and 9 right now. Is that correct, model? 6 and 9, correct. So now let's define case numbers. So we'll call this 1. And I guess I'm going to have to move this up a bit. Now I'll drag this across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a total of, fill series, a total of 11 cases. The first 5 will be NPVs, the second 5 will be standard deviations. Now, what NPV do I want when I run these standard deviations? I probably want my base. So I'm going to put in a 6 here. And what standard deviations do I want when I run the NPV sensitivities? I probably want my base as well, so I'm going to put a 9 here. So those represent the combinations of mean and standard deviation that I want to run. So now let's look at the case used, okay? And just so I can make sure it's working right, I'm going to put a 2 there. And then I'm going to say equals index of this thing, comma, this 2, F4 to fix it. And I can copy that down. So you can see for case 2, I have a 5 and a 9, and I have a 5 and a 9. Now my value measure. We're going to start with NPV. So we're going to say equals this NPV. Now this wants to be a variable that's defined as an output variable. So I don't want an average. I want the actual distribution. Okay? We got the acquired value here. And now we're set up to go, except we need a place to put this. Well, let's see. Do we have a PMTable? We do have a PMTable, but it's not active, so we need to make that active. So SIPmath Save PMTable. And we're going to make PMTable retrieve that. And so now we can see there's nothing in it. Oh, and this is our sensitivity. What is type? Well, we do notice that this changed to a 0. Does that bother us? it shouldn't, because I can come over here to SIPmath trials, and I should be able to change that. There we go. We got some numbers here now. So that looks like a good answer. Come back over here to my sensitivity. And so to do a multiple experiment over here, we're going to highlight this variable, and we're going to go SIPmath define outputs, multiple experiments, output name, I'm going to call it value measure, and multiple experiments. You just have to be really careful you don't generate something here that looks like a range name. Okay. The input cell is going to be this 2, and the input values are going to be these 1 through 11. So it'll cycle through the 1 through 11 and calculate our distributions. The starting cell for spark lines, I like to put on my numbers here, my index. So I'm going to say OK. So it's running that, and it generated these distributions. I can then calculate the average of those. And I will do SIPmath get stats. I now have the average of them, except they're all the same. Why is that? I never linked this back to the model. So let's go do that now. So we want the mean to be equal to this, and we want the standard deviation here to be equal to this. All right. Now you'll notice, because I've linked them, I get different answers here, different averages. So we could then plot these. We'll plot these things here. All right. And we can then put the legend on here. And we can put some titles on here. So there we have our chart. I'll make that a little bit smaller. Now, I would really like to see the difference. So what this says here, by the way, is the standard deviation has much less impact on the mean of this MPV distribution versus changing the mean of the distribution, which makes sense. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it over here just for kicks. And right-click. And I can paste a picture. Okay. Now let's do something different. Let's change this value measure from MPV to this incremental value over here. Difference from the reference. Let's try that and see what happens. So we'll set this equal to model here. And that shows me the difference between the active and the reference. So what is this telling me? Similar result over here. This particular case of a 6 for the standard deviation gives the difference of 0, because 6 and 6 happens to be the reference case. So anyway, that's how you can generate a sensitivity to a variable, and you can, by this one multiple experiment, get different sensitivity charts out for different value measures. Hope you found this video of value. Thank you. If you'd like to learn more about SIPmath, I suggest you visit probabilitymanagement.org. They have a wonderful website with all kinds of tools there, shown down here, who they are. You can download models, and there's tools down here to include the SIPmath toolbar itself. You might also read The Flaw of Averages by Sam Savage. And please visit my YouTube channel. I have over 80 videos that cover a wide range of topics, to include uses of the SIPmath tools, how to use the icons, cost and schedule risk analysis, portfolio analysis, value of information, lots of videos on that, and some mind testers. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.